Alright, hello and welcome back to another session of the Great Ace Attorneys. We're on the final episode and also hope you guys are doing well, as always. I forgot to say that. But we're on the final episode, which is a continuation of episode 4. We are defending our client, Lord Van Zieks, Baroque Van Zieks, as he is charged with the murder of Inspector Gregson. But on day 2, episode 5, things have changed, right? We went to the court, we felt a different aura, right? And it turns out Lord, what's his name? Mail Stronghad or whatever his name is. Is that his name? Isn't that a first name? Like, you know, we always say Van Zieks, right? But his first name is Baroque. Is that? I don't know. Anyway, he's the judge in this trial, and I think he's doing the jury as well. I don't know. We'll probably get onto that later. But yeah, we went into trial, you know, Kazuma, you know, still is the prosecutor. But in that trial, you know, we've turned into an intermission. But in that trial, it seems like, you know, everything was going according to plan for Stronghad and Asogi. Albeit, Asogi did, you know, go against his orders at one point, trying to, I believe, want to find, I forgot what it was. Wanted to find out the passport, or was it the SS? I forgot what it was called. The Grusha, whatever his name is. I forgot what the Grus, I think, was the ship. I forgot what it was exactly that Kazuma didn't object to, but he still has his priority on finding out what happened with his father, the professor, yada yada yada. But anyways, we went into an intermission. We found out a few things, like Kazuma was with Inspector Gregson for the assassination. If we assume that Gregson was a part of the organization of the Reaper, all the Reaper hits and all that jazz. And but there wasn't too much of a lead, right? And we went to an intermission. I think Stronghad was saying, oh, if there's no evidence, or, you know, and Judge Jigoku, I think. We're trying to find Judge Jigoku because one of the hits of Gregson and Asogi was Jigoku, right? But it failed. Kazuma said he left, right? But Kazuma wasn't even a part of the whole Reaper organization thing. But we need to find out what happened to Judge Jigoku. We need to find out, you know, we need to find some leads. And yeah, that's where we left off, because we are playing as Mikotoba and Herlock. They went on the SS Grus last night. They disappeared off to here to find Judge Jigoku. We don't know if Jigoku is dead. We don't know if he's ran away, or he's a part of the Reaper's operation, or he even killed Inspector Gregson, for all we know. Who knows? But I have to, as Mikotoba, have to distract this guy so Sholmes could get inside his cabin. He looks like a Neo Temple Guardian statue, this fellow. The way he's glaring at us so fiercely. Tell me, why are you standing guard here if the cabin is unoccupied? Because this area is only for first-class passengers. You must look out for suspicious criminals. Yeah, he was looking straight at me when he said that. My dear fellow, as you plainly see, we are quite unsuspicious as criminals go. But still, criminals. No. For goodness sake, Schloes, tell the man. We're not either suspicious nor criminals. Ah yes, quite right, Mikotoba. Curse us. The seaman is far too able for his own good. Oh yeah, I guess we should say that Mikotoba is Sholmes' partner throughout all the adventures, right? There wasn't any Wilson, you know, there's no Watson. There's Mikotoba, you know, Japanese student who came across with Sholmes at the time. This must be a mousetrap, I think. Wasn't that there before? In the bureau? Perhaps I could distract it. Yeah, try, I guess. You know, that sounds like Big Mouse in trap. Choo. I'll bring a bucket of water later and put out of misery. Wow, didn't work. I don't like the sound of that. In any case, my dear fellow, that was quite unconvincing. Only Japanese mice make a chew sound. Oh, really, Sholmes? And pray tell, what sound do Russian mice make? EP, naturally. Though also quite unconvincing, I readily admit. So go ahead, Mikotoba, do a PP this time. E. Beep, 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 beep. Oh yeah, the alarm. That was a thing last time, wasn't it? All hell would break loose if that thing were to ring. The whole crew would know about it. Alright, set off. Time. Let's go. He goes then. Pardon me in advance. You, what are you doing? If we were at sea, that would be a very bad problem. What's going on down there? Seaman Stroganov? Report at once. Sorry, sir. Nothing to report. It was just stupid trick. No, not by me. By world famous... No, as I told you. Alright. Now, Sholmes, now. Done. Not even 5 seconds, eh? Well, don't stand there gawping on my brilliance, Mikotoba. In we go. Oh, yes. Yeah, so we're trying to find... I don't know, something. We're trying to find something. We're going with Jigoku. Where is he? Did he kill Inspector Gregson? Did he do something with Kazuma? Question mark? I don't know. Good gracious. It would appear that the occupant of this cabin did indeed disembark rather hurriedly. Those clothes on the floor there. They say she rose, without question. Well, it seems we are just a little too late. You got Thanos. Yes, by about 2 hours. Only his clothes. There may well be 2 hours worth of clues to find in here. 2 hours worth. That barely came. I was going to say caveman for some reason. The crewman may return at any moment, Sholmes. Indeed, he may. Which makes this all the more thrilling. Alright, so it's time to... Okay, so... The wall is slightly different color just here, do you see? Indeed. What you have observed arises when a frame that has been hanging for some time is removed. Perhaps your friend is an art thief. Well, there's a bold deduction worthy of a great detective, I'm sure. It may very well be the elusive thief who has been plaguing France's galleries of late. I think perhaps we should focus our attentions elsewhere, Sholmes, don't you? That outline on the wall. I feel as though I might have spotted something of a similar shape and size elsewhere. Yeah, right here. These are the rules of passage. Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in their cabins. Pets are also strictly forbidden. Strictly? Strictly. Additionally, there are severe punishments for stowing away in the wardrobes and or travel cases. I feel the rules have increased since I last read them. Probably just my imagination. What about the fact, yeah, the best part, that they're not straight on the wall? Didn't that strike you? You may be right. Probably just your imagination, though. A trifle. And you know what I always say, Mikotoba? There's nothing important about trifles. It's probably just my imagination, but I think that might be slightly off. It's a very sizable chunk indeed. Seishiro is partial to all things large. And a rather clumsy fellow. If you failed to notice he left that behind. Perhaps he left it on purpose. It's lighter than you might think. It's still a hindrance to a speedy escape. It's locked. Pity. It's locked. So we can't look inside. 35 seconds from now, the situation will be quite different though. Yeah, can you unlock it? Sadly not. It has a 7-digit combination lock. And I'm not in a morose enough mood to work through all the combinations at present. So you can open like door locks, but not a lock with a lock. I'm pretty sure the lockpicking lawyer could do it without the combination, right? Alright, we see this. I'm pretty sure I saw videos with him like unlocking combination locks without using the combination. It depends on how good the lock is, right? I mean, since just Jigoku, you know, he's quite a high status man. Must be like a very expensive luggage, right? Alright. Nothing. Just assuming that the snakes, to prevent snakes to go through the I forgot what is it? Wait, what's happened? Something wrong, Sholmes? He suddenly trailed off. Ice, Mikotoba, ice. What opulence the first-class passenger enjoyed? Oh, enjoy. Chilled drinks. This steamship is equipped with an electrically refrigerated cold room, do you think? Well, it's a luxury liner, after all. Ah, they have enormous refrigerators for storing all sorts of lavish produce, as well as ice. On our voyage from Japan, we enjoyed culinary delights from all over the world. Ah, so that's where the refrigerator is. Silly Mikotoba. The sight of you is making my mouth water. The sight of you. I haven't taken on the flavor of the food I ate, you know. Yeah, I kind of like this dynamic between Mikotoba and Sholmes. According to the report I was given, Naruhodo was concealing himself in Asogi's wardrobe. Indeed he was, and it was of similar size to this one. Ah, you must climb inside yourself, my dear fellow. What? Wherever for? It was the site of my first faithful meeting with Mr. Naruhodo. You can experience the motive for yourself, now, complete with my dramatic rhetoric. Come along now, in you go. This will only take a moment. Really, Sholmes? Surely you can just tell me what you said. Well, I uttered some brilliant remark and opened the wardrobe to reveal the stowaway murderer. Yeah, I think I'll just read it about in the adventures of Herlock Sholmes. Oh yeah, the clothes, of course. There's a substantial heap of clothes on the floor. Did we not see this? An overcoat, shirts, and a dressing gown. Omihiki work trousers, a Tenzen robe, a haramaki waistband. Clearly the clothing of a Japanese man. And clearly, Japanese men are unaccustomed to the culture of the wardrobe. Looks to me as if they've been thrown in a hurry like that in something of a hurry. Indeed, you can help yourself to a Japanese man's shirt, perhaps. I'm sure you made mention of packing too few. I very likely drown in one of Seishiro's shirts. No, I'll just buy any extras I need, I think. And I always get some gas going through my esophagus. I don't know why. Maybe it's because how I'm breathing, maybe. When I talk. Or the fact that I ate, but yeah. Prior. Alright, anything in the bin? Is there anything, Sholmes? There is something. It's a classic. Here, we have a notice issues to passengers from 3 days ago. 3 days ago? The night before we arrived in London then. When I was still aboard myself. Following departure for... Oh, well, let's read from the top. Evacuation... Alright, never mind. Yes. There was an evacuation drill. I remember now. By safety and security, all first-class passengers were constantly under the watchful eye of the crew. So it was a welcome relief to have some privacy for once. Evacuation, but I don't know why okay, drill. Itinerary has been entered into the card room. In the card records, the card room. Oh, there it is. Was his name Stroganoff? You are still here. Ah, Abel Seaman Stroganoff. Hello, game. Abel. I was beginning to think. You never materialize. Huh? You were waiting for me? Of course. I was expecting you to burst in with a hearty Russian profanity far sooner. I was in trouble with Captain because of a trick you played before. Or innocent chicken. Is this chicken? Chicken? Beacon? Ship is leaving port soon. Get off, now. Of course, we shall disembark presently, my dear fellow. But first, there is something that must be done. Here it is, the deduction. What are you talking about? Please don't tell me it's a deduction. Why, naturally. The debunking of your deceit and the bearing of the truth. Or the bearing. I don't know what said barring. I'm afraid I see through your lies. For one thing, Mr. Jigoku has not left this vessel at all. Ah. For another, my dear seaman, seaman? Stroganoff, seaman. Stroganoff. You know exactly where the man is even as we speak, don't you? How can you? I'm world great detective. Great world detective. Good gracious, Sholmes. It's like coming out. By Jove, Sholmes, you've cracked it. 10 years, no less. So, would you care to join me for a dance of my imitable logic and reasoning? Oh dear. Nothing would please me more. Oh, will he actually nail the head on this one? Because I really don't want to do a deduction. You have but minutes until the vessel puts to sea. No games now. It is afoot. The time is of the essence. Mr. Stroganoff, allow me to remind you of your earlier claim. You told us that Jigoku left the ship some 2 hours ago. Nah, that is what I said. Sadly, that was a rather clumsy lie. You see, there is something in this room that quite clearly contradicts it. What? Ah, yes, of course. I see you've noted it too, Mikadoba. Then please, do take the lead. Oh, here we go. What in this cabin shows the impossibility of Jigoku having disembarked 2 hours ago. Let's see what the last 3 years have done to your observational skills then, Mikadoba. It's been 10 years since we last did this, Sholmes, not 3. Why, of course, it has, quite. Now, all the clues are here in the cabin for your eyes to see. But as I always say, you must not merely look, but observe. Observe and the answers become clear. So, impress me. So this is how Sholmes actually did the fucking... This is how he actually did it. Large trunk? Is it the trunk? I think it's the trunk. Like, it must be his, right? What is that? The thing? What in the cabin shows the impossibility of Jigoku having disembarked 2 hours ago? Alright, so he's still in here, right? Yep. Must be the trunk. Is it the clothes? Doesn't seem like it. I'm going for the trunk, I guess. Is it the trunk? Or the ice? The glass containing ice? That might be a reason as well. I don't... Go try the ice? Because it should be melted, right? Oh, the trunk. Oh, let's go for the trunk. No, that ain't it. Oh, Mikadoba. No games now, were my words, were they not? Come, Sholmes. Where's the fun in life without a little fooling around, huh? Quite right you are. That was a close shave. I better rethink that before I'm the fool here. I don't know. Is it the glass? You didn't disembark 2 hours ago at all. That was a lie. Of course it was, and I hope you be quicker to the point on why. Otherwise, the evidence itself may melt away. Alright, it is the ice. Okay.
Take that!
Yeah, I thought it was the ice, but then I was thinking like, oh. I didn't know Mikotoa knew some tap dancing. Perhaps you cleared away that glass. I'm curious that the ice should have melted despite it being abandoned 2 hours ago. Ah. It would appear that the man was in this very cabin, until moments before our arrival. With this well-chilled glass in hand. Do you mind offer refreshments, Sholmes? One might even conclude that somebody informed him of our boarding. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Stroganoff? But why would Shakespeare run from us? Before we consider that question, allow me to confirm one small matter. Will I be correct in saying that these first-class cabins of the SS Grus are the same ones in which you and Mr. Jigoku were accommodated on your voyage from Japan? Ah, that's right, they are. I was in the cabin next door, and Seishiro was, yes. 50 days in this very cabin during our voyage. As I suspected, for you, see, voyage. There are traces in this cabin of a dark secret that Mr. Jigoku had to hide. What traces? I know nothing about this. This is news to you, is it, Mr. Stroganoff? Sholmes, what exactly are you getting at? As I said, there are traces in this cabin of some nefarious activity. To Something that appears out of place, which I'm quite sure you won't have escaped your notice. Something out of place in there. That's the key to this, Mikotoba. The remnants of the dark deed that took place in here are being masked by something quite incongruous. I would say I didn't foresee ever doing this dance of deduction with you again, Mikotoba. No, quite. But life is full of unexpected twists and turns, as we well know of. Or as we well know. Now then, let's see if I can't uncover the truth here. Yes, you have the floor, my dear fellow. So Mikotoba was the guy solving half the stuff here. Dark deed. Is it this rules of passage? Wait, what did you say? What hides traces? Sorry, that.
Take that!
No, it's not that. It might be the other one. Don't worry. No games now. Come on, Sholmes. Laughing at the same joke. We'll get there. Oh no, who's gonna say? You must tilt your head to one side and listen carefully to the faint cries of the scene. Hear the evidence calling out for you from finding. Here I am. Cries. Tilt. Get it? Dear God, Mikotoba, open your eyes. As it was the metaphorical listening that I was suggesting. Is this?
Take that!
Yeah, there we go. Music stop. It's the rules of passage in this frame here. They're obviously out of place. The way they're hanging crooked on the wall, as if they were put there in a hurry. Whoops. Yeah, I didn't know Mikotoba was a tap dancer, though. Yes, I'm sure you've already concluded. That frame was originally over there. The shape and size are a perfect match. Ah, you're right. Where did the frame move? Hardly the most observant of crewmen are you, Mr. Stroganoff. I would think your captain is quite justified in having his reservations about your reliability. Ugh. Oh dear, that really seemed to touch a nerve. So, Mikotoba, when do you lift that frame off the wall? Oh, I'm lifting it. There's a bullet hole. That looks like a bullet hole. What? Who has been shooting walls? I see. The projectile has been removed. Clearly, the careful occupant of this room has already disposed of it. I can't believe Jigoku. Now then, Mr. Stroganoff. I have the distinct impression that you attempted to shield said occupant. I don't know what you are talking about. Why would I protect Eastern stranger? So we're talking about the same man, I see. Good. I'm sure you could get to the bottom of this in no time, aren't you? Because there's something very noteworthy evidence that explains the reason why you are lying for the man. Yes, you've been told to keep up this pretense, as clearly shown by... I really don't know how to approach this one, Sholmes. My dear Mikotoba, simply keep first principles in mind. Study your subject from every angle, and I'm quite sure that you'll see it. In fact, I'll pull the wager on it. Time to glare at the fellow from all sides. Well, I certainly do. Oh. What's that? The wad of banknotes?
Take that!
Here we go. On the other side now, right side. It's almost too obvious for words. Quite. The universal language of the world. Money. And I wager that the Eastern fellow in question is Seishiro Jigoku, yes? So I presume you realize what this means. There are clear signs that a crime has been committed in this cabin. In the way you're going, sir, you'll find yourself accused of being an accomplice. But... I believe you know, Mr. Stroganoff. You know where Mr. Jigoku is hiding at this precise moment in time. As always, Mikotoba, in matters of destruction, the fruitive glance is your unfaltering ally. Yes, I think you're onto something there, Sholmes. You found the chink in this burly fellow's armor. We need only follow the man's gaze to know where our prey is hiding. Slightest flicker of the pupils. A minutely delayed blink. Nothing escapes my attention, even that which is barely perceptible. You can hardly call this barely perceptible, Sholmes. The man's turned his entire head. It's not exactly what you describe as a furtive glance, is it? It's almost too obvious. You should let your tapping shoes decide, my dear fellow. Where's he hiding? Wardrobe? It's looking like it. Oh, is it the trunk?
Take that!
Seems like it. You turned immediately to look at this large trunk, didn't you? Ah, the truth is, Seishiro Jigoku was unable to escape from the ship in time. It is, at this very moment, doing his best to stifle his breath inside this trunk. If he still has the breath to take, I fear he may be running dangerously low on air. I imagine he didn't count on us making a nuisance of ourselves for quite so long. I think it would be in everyone's best interest for us to open the trunk as quickly as possible. But how can we? Are we forgetting about the combination lock? We don't know the 7-digit code. Combination lock can be opened from the inside of the trunk. Therefore, there must be an arrangement for somebody to open it after our departure. Of course. In short, before Jigoku hid himself inside the trunk, he must have told somebody the 7-digit number for the lock. Sure you could confirm, Mr. Stroganoff? No, I know nothing about combination code. Don't move a muscle, my good seaman. Now, Mikotoba, will you do the honors to open the trunk? Oh, enough do you expect me? What is it, the Sholmes? Can't believe he actually used the 7-digit number now. Remember, quickly, we have a little time. View the scene, please. Was this 5? I don't know what that other number is. A? 5? 3? 1? 0? 4? Is that 5 again? I don't know what this one is. Is that a 2? Yeah, that's a 2. Is that it?
Take that!
That's pretty cool with the Sholmes. So that means the localization of Sholmes. Oh, there's Goku. Well, Eugene, you found me now. Seishiro. Who's doing that? I was really hoping beyond hope, not to find you here, you know. You're not entirely unsurprised, I take it? No, quite. I just wish you were some other way. Well, are you ever going to introduce me? Ah, your reputation precedes you, Mr. Sholmes. I've read your stories of your many exploits. Oh, many of your exploits. Excuse my manner, Sholmes. This is Mr. Jigoku, my old friend and traveling companion. The devil's in the details, Mikotoba. I believe you meant to say your old friend and traveling companion. You made the cowardly decision to flee the country without a word to anyone when things turned sour. I see my reputation precedes me as well. What an honor. Well, Seishiro, are you going to explain all this? You know it all by now, I imagine. What you didn't know, of course, is that 3 days ago, on the night before our arrival in Britain, an attempt was made on my life here on this very ship. By the Reaper of the Bailey, yes, I've since heard. Because you were once prosecuted by the Reaper, weren't you? 10 years ago now, mind you. I had no idea at the time what a dangerous individual he was. Anyway, when we arrived in London to find the symposium was postponed until goodness knows when, it became all too apparent to me that I might very well be targeted again. So you decided to flee the capital without saying a word to me about it? I'm afraid so, yes. Of course, I realize now that I really ought to have confided in you. It's somewhat surprising, I must say. What is it? Well, first-class cabins aboard luxury steamships are in very short supply. It's It's more than a little hard to believe that this one just happened to be available. So says the protagonist of some colorful short stories. Well, I don't care for your opinion. Cabin did just happen to be available, so I purchased a ticket, and here I am. Seen for myself the obvious remnants of that incident in this cabin. So you already purchased your return ticket before we even docked in Dover, have you? You prevent anyone else taking this cabin and seeing the evidence, is that it? Eugen, I have nothing to say to you. Well, in a mere 5 minutes, this ship will set off on its onward voyage and not make port again until, what you said? until Italy. I'm afraid we must insist that you disembark with us at once. You have no jurisdiction over my movements. You have this, Seishiro. Take it. What is it? Is I forgot how you say it. Subpoena? From the Old Bailey? You're a man of the law. You know what ramification of annoying a document like this from British courts would be. I'll get there, hold on. Is it called subpoena? It's like bringing on someone into the court, right?
Subpoena.
Yeah, there we go, subpoena, yeah. I remember. Go away, and let me just click here. I found this rather fancy trinket. Did you say fancy? Fascinating. What is that, Seishiro? I can't help you, I'm afraid. Some small component from something. But what? I have no idea. Oh, it's from the watch, right? I think he generally doesn't know. Well, there's pocketed as a small souvenir of our brief sojourn, I believe. Sojourn. Well, you're now, Hado. I think we've done as much as we can, I'm afraid. The rest, we're on your shoulders, and your assistant. Your daughter, Mikotoba. My daughter. Since I'm playing as Mikotoba. Alright, 30 minutes is done. I wouldn't call this the part. I wouldn't call... Yeah, I wouldn't call... we're not cutting the part yet. He is bringing on card. Kazuma Sogi. I know you and I know you wouldn't lie. But still, there's no doubt that you're holding something back. You know more than you're saying. Alright, during the past 30 minutes while this court was adjourned, all possible efforts were expended. Sadly, Mr. Jigoku's whereabouts could not be ascertained. We must accept the unfortunate conclusion that the Reaper has already done the deed. There's no sense in wasting any more of the court's time. The prosecution calls for an immediate verdict. No, the trial cannot end now. You're a Japanese man, Rinosuke. You should know when to lay down your sword. And you should know never to presume when the battle is won. The court has already been presented with all the evidence and heard all relevant testimony. There could only be one conclusion, that the accused is guilty. All relevant testimony? Far from him. There's still a crucial witness from whom the court is yet to hear a single word of testimony. In that case, call your witness to the stand at once, counsel. Is it Kazuma? Yes, my lord. Tomorrow, if possible. The witness is ready on his way, and scheduled to arrive tomorrow. Who on earth is this crucial witness? Seishiro Jigoku. The very man allegedly murdered by the Reaper. Judge Jigoku, you found him? The investigation of every policing resource in the capital suggests that Jigoku is already dead. How in the name of God did you find the man? He was located in France during the recess at the port of Dunkirk. Thanks to one of Mr. Herlock Sholmes' famous deductions. Herlock Sholmes. Inspector Gregson almost certainly met with Mr. Jigoku on the night of his death. Because along with Puseko Asogi, Gregson was on the mission to assassinate the man. Which means that Seishiro Jigoku is the sole witness You can clarify exactly what happened aboard the SS Grooves on the 31st October. Well, it would appear that it's too soon to move to adjudication at this point. Or education. The prosecution concurs. As I yawn. No judgment should be passed until all testimony has been considered. Alright, see you tomorrow. In that case, I hereby call the end of today's proceedings. Court will reconvene at the same hour tomorrow. No objections from either side? No, my lord. No objections, my lord. We live to fight another day. By the skin of our teeth. Is that it? Alright, yeah, no, I guess we could call it a part here.